My next guest is going to be taking on Rachel Ostovich coming up here at UFC Fight Night on November 28th. It is Gina Mazany joining me here on the program. Gina, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing really well. We were just talking off air. It's been a bit since we did an interview, but it's also been a bit since we saw you in the cage. I know, this time a lot better circumstances than the last fight where it was literally on, a couple days notice. When did you actually find out about this fight?
I've known about it for maybe 10 weeks now, or we've been talking. I don't remember exactly when I signed the contract, but we've been talking about it honestly since probably 10 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe more.
Which is good. So it's kind of what I'm getting at is you've had a lot of notice for this fight, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of notice.
Perfect. And I think this is actually, this is the first interview we've done since I know you linked up with Iridium Sports. I know your boyfriend, Tim Elliott, is with them. Is that sort of the connection? How did you end up linking up with them?
With Iridium?
Yeah.
So when we hooked up with Iridium, I was actually with a previous management company, and in my words, I think they kind of screwed me over a little bit. But they when I lost to Macy, they were telling me to stay ready, be 135 ready, and just keep training, and we're gonna get you a short notice fight. It's gonna happen. Needless to say, I found out that 6 months later that I was actually fired. And I didn't have a job with the UFC, so then I was like, okay, I need to get on some regional shows, smash some girls, and then let's get me back on. And so Jason House actually met with me and said that similar thing where he's like, hey, we just need to get you on the regional scene. The cool thing about everything that's been happening, I've had a lot of changes that I've had a handful of people who still had this much more faith in me. They're like, Gina, you got it. They know how hard I work and stuff. So Jason House, one of those guys. And, but that's kind of how I got linked up. But I was kind of put in a position where I was kind of screwed over by my old management. And then this management was like, hey, we're interested. So, wanted to help me out, and here we are. So life's good. And
it worked out well, obviously, getting back in the UFC, getting these opportunities, which is really good. And the other changes you mentioned, you're out in Missouri training at Glory MMA. How long have you been out there? I was trying to remember.
Holy moly. It's probably been about almost 3 months now, maybe about. But yeah, Tim came here when he fought Ryan Benoit. And it's funny because Tim's always talked very highly of James Krause and Glory and being in Missouri and stuff. And I was like, well, why not? We just might as well give it a shot, what else do I have to lose? Mm-hmm. But yeah, we've been here for a little while, and I genuinely fell in love with the coaching. I fell in love with the team. Missouri's weather is not something I'm in love with.
I was going to say, that's probably the hardest part, leaving that nice weather in Vegas and going to Missouri, but yeah.
And yeah, but then it's also one of those things where I'm like, it's kind of nice. I like the small town. I like the cozy. I like it's fall right now, and I haven't been in a place where there's seasons in a while. So I'm pretty excited to when I can eat, and I can eat some pies.
Yeah.
No, it's great. The transition's been great.
What's been the biggest benefit being at Glory? James Krause is a world-class coach. You've got some really good training partners. Is there, a few particular things you look at where you're like, man, my game's really been elevated from being here? James
Krause, man, I was talking to him today. The thing I love about James Krause is that he communicates very well, and that's the kind of person I need someone to communicate with me a little bit. But he's made me do a lot of things that I wouldn't want to do. A lot of things I've noticed that he makes me do a lot more, puts me in a lot more situations where before I would kind of steer from it and steer from that anxiety ridden filled shit that we deal with as fighters and stuff. And he's really put me in these situations where I had to deal with it. And since I've dealt with it, I've been able to overcome it. And I feel great. Mentally, I feel great. And I would say that's my weakest attribute is my mental game, but not now. And now I feel like definitely becoming one of my stronger ones. So that's a really nice change.
And you got a pretty notable opponent, Rachel Ostovich. How do you feel like you match up against her in this fight?
I think it's great. The thing I love about it is I don't remember the last time I fought someone who was shorter than me.
Right.
That's so cool. Holy moly. So I'm looking forward to that. New weight class, 125. The 135 cuts just kind of became, they weren't easy. No weight cuts ever easy, but it just like became where, I could take it on a week's notice and stuff. And, but yeah, I'm curious of how it's going to go with that 125. And in my mind, I feel like it's just going to be a way more comfortable weight class for me,
right.
Not for girls, but for me.
Right. No, that's great. And we talked a bit about camp there. Who have been some of the main training partners you get to work with over at Glory?
I've been working with one of their newly pro girls, Alexa, quite a bit. Obviously, I still work with Tim quite a bit. They have this Isaac Dolgarian, who's just an animal. Grant Dawson's worked with me a ton. He's helped me a lot with my wrestling. Oh my gosh, Austin Ford, who's been helping my boxing. But yeah, we got all sorts. It's crazy. It's like in the middle of Missouri, and there's random people that come down. Like Derek Minner is one of our good buddies, and he would always come down to Vegas and train with us. And he's 3 hours from here, so he's been actually coming to Missouri to come train with us. So he's transitioned with us. Yeah. But yeah, it's been awesome.
Big win for him. Well, I guess a month ago or more than that over a Canadian guy I know quite well, TJ Laramie. That was a pretty impressive win for Derek.
Holy moly, yeah! I couldn't. And Derek's he's really good with necks. Like he's a little wizard. So that's been nice too. I've been able to pick up more stuff from him, and yeah, that was an awesome win for him. That made me so happy.
So your corner for this fight, if I had to guess, Tim and James Krause. Who else? Who else is going to be in there?
My brother.
Oh, cool! Brother. Oh, awesome! Yeah, I know you guys are very close. This is something we talked about. Yeah, so
it'll be fun. And that was my main thing is I wanted I'm happy to be in Vegas. So that's where Dave's at. So then it'll just be, I don't know. I feel really comfortable with my whole corner. Like, and I feel, yeah, I'm really close to everybody. So that's really exciting.
Fantastic. How's this fight playing out on November 28th? You feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you envision it unfolding?
Oh man. In the past, Rachel likes to take people down and whatnot. And like, she kind of likes to blow in that way. But, I'm curious of how she's going to get inside, and then if she does get inside, how she's going to out wrestle me and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, I think my striking is really going to come into play. My reach, my size. I think I'm going to be much bigger than her. But I've been sharpening a lot of my tools, and so even I don't even know if size really matters that much. But I just think I've been sharpening my tools to stab and punch and kick and wrestle, and I don't know. I'm ready everywhere. So that's yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's a tough, I mean, and also you don't want to give away game plan and stuff. I get that too. So that makes sense. I'm sure you want to keep active and sort of get, momentum going and all that. Is the plan, I imagine, to take this fight, maybe take a little bit of time off for the holidays? You got Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that coming up, and then get back to it next year? Is that sort of the plan right now?
So Tim's got a fight scheduled in January. And
oh, right. Okay.
Best case scenario, I do well and I don't get injured and we can just keep this ball rolling, because I feel like I've just had a couple of years where I just was like, had a pretty bumpy road, I feel like, and I'd really like to cruise a little bit smooth in my fight career a bit. So if I can get as many fights as possible, like that's Tim and I's plan. Like, we just want to fight as much as we can until we can't anymore. So yeah, I definitely want to keep the ball rolling. And it's funny, before this fight, after my last fight, like I remember leaving the Apex Center thinking, I'm done. I don't want to fight anymore. I just don't want to fight. And then James talked to Tim and was like, hey, I just need 2 months with her. Give me 2 months with her. And I was like, I don't really, if I'm feeling it. And push comes to shove, and here I am. And I'm like, I'm fucking passionate about fighting again. And I love it. And it's my jam again. So getting these old feelings woken up makes me just want to keep cruising through as much as possible.
Do you see Missouri as like a long-term home for you guys, or you just want to do your camps here? Have you kind of decided? Because I think Julian Marquez was telling me, I think he goes back and forth. Is that what you guys are doing too?
So that was kind of the plan. Like we literally bought a house like right before all the COVID crap happened. And like we loved our house. Like it felt like you weren't in Vegas and it was cool. And but then and now we're renting it out. So I think we're honestly going to make Missouri more permanent. Going back and forth is cool, but I mean, everything's kind of here for us. Like the PI is there, which is great. But I mean, you can't beat having a good coach and a good team. but yeah, I think we're probably gonna stay. Tim has a lot of family here too, and yeah, I don't mind it. I'm curious of how it's going to be during the winter, but we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be more of our permanent stay.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear everything's working out. I'm really looking forward to this fight. UFC Fight Night, November 28th. Gina, always appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
If you want to find me, I am on Instagram and Twitter, Gina Danger, AK, GINDANGER, AK. Big thank you to my sponsors. Who are my sponsors? King Palm's been helping us out. Heck, who else?
Well, you post a lot of them on your social media, right? That's the key.
Go on there and find out. And you know.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. No, I just appreciate everybody.